Zakiya is the founder and executive director of Grace Fitness. She holds a master's degree in public administration and is a certified personal trainer as well as a community health worker who helps people overcome their struggles to get healthy. She was born in Gary, Indiana, and witnessed the impacts of social determinants of health in her own community. She's now working to become a registered dietitian. Zakiya, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
An absolute pleasure. So, Zakiya, tell us a little bit about your journey and what led you to it, especially talking about your own beginnings. And now you're becoming a registered dietitian. Walk us through that journey.
Well, and once again, thank you for having me and having this platform where people can talk about this. But what led me to who I am today is I weighed 305 pounds. I was an acute asthmatic. I was in the ER twice a month with flare ups, needing prednisone, just everything that was related to chronic asthma. I needed a seatbelt extender to get on the plane. My knees were swollen. My ankles were swollen. I was just really unhealthy, and I was unhealthy because of a lot of trauma that I had experienced as an adult as well as a child. And I used food to help me. I didn't know how to eat healthy. I just ate. I didn't read my labels or anything like that. And so, just through a lot of various interventions, I was able to become an ambassador at a yoga studio where the classes I could not afford out of pocket myself. And this lady had an ambassador program, and I had to write a letter to get in. And the synopsis of my letter was, "I'm black and I'm fat and I need some help." I had nowhere to go. I remember going to a old church building or someplace, Overeaters Anonymous place. I was at my wits' end. I did not know how I was going to get healthy or anything. And so that just led to me starting to teach classes heavy. At 305 pounds, I just fell in love with how exercise made me feel. And so I just fell in love with it, and I have not looked back yet. And it has saved my life. It has cut down on my prescription drugs. I'm able to run. I just feel my clothes size. I was in the size 26, right? So I have went down 10 sizes, and I just feel better. No surgeries, no not being perfect. Just every day put me first. And so that has led me to starting my own health and wellness organization, Grace Fitness. And now I am I'm embarking on finishing my degree to become a registered dietitian to show people, especially in my community, how to eat because it's helping me too. I'm learning so much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I am.
You've mentioned people in your community. Can you talk
Mm-hmm.
about representation and understanding the social factors associated with getting the help from a provider that looks like you, including a registered dietitian?
Oh, it's I can't. If you don't walk in our shoes, you don't know what you're missing, right? Because when you are somewhere and everybody look like you, your doctor, your pharmacist, anybody in the medical field that looks like you have better outcomes, right?
Mm.
And so I feel like having people of color in health spaces is is critical to our care and to being related to, right? You have to relate to the culture. You can't assume. And I know that's hard because some people don't. Like when I moved here from an all black city to Des Moines, Iowa, it was a culture shock, a complete culture shock for me. But uh, it's nobody that look like me here that I can go be an OBGYN, that can be a registered dietitian. We have a few dentists, one or two doctors, but seeing somebody that look like you is so very important.
Mm.
Really, it is.
Mm-hmm. Important in the sense of building trust and understanding the individual's needs, or how would you place that
I
need?
would say all of the above, because
Mm-hmm.
in school I'm hopeful with the George Floyd, all the race situations, that people are really looking at the health equity piece as far as how they give care and how you may think black people can tolerate pain more, or all these biases that have been ingrained for centuries now. We're not
Mm-hmm.
talking about years. This is centuries and centuries of how we have been treated. It isn't has not went away in medical care. What has opened up is the internet. You get to see, how black people are treated in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not by the police, it's in healthcare, it's at the grocery store. You go to a
Mm-hmm.
black grocery store, our prices are higher, right? You really have to look at this at a large scale. It's just not the police that's bringing all this on. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that nobody's talking about, that
Mm-hmm.
affects our health
Mm-hmm.
insurance, access to care. The list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm. I wanna next go into some of the work that you've been doing. Um, you have a personal connection to this. You've gone through this in your own personal journey. What is the impact that you are now creating in the community? I know you've got Grace Fitness as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about that and making connections in the community?
Me making connections. So with Grace Fitness, we have been certified through the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to be a diabetes prevention site, and that's huge because
Mm-hmm.
when I was growing up, my I would say majority, over 60% of my family suffered from complications of diabetes. And as the kids, we didn't know. We just saw your grandma shooting herself with insulin. You just think that this is the American way, right? And I had to I had to take a deep look, like that's gonna be me, right? Because if I don't change what I eat the same as what my grandmother ate, we don't know that you can eat this over that and still have the taste that we like, going back to the culture thing. But that's healthier, that's better for you, that won't give you diabetes, that won't give you hypertension and gout and depress you. It's just deep. And so what
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing in the community is really the education piece. I'm not selling. I don't have any waist trainers to sell. I don't have any pills to sell. What I sell is a healthy lifestyle that you can do it. You have to do it. It's life
Mm-hmm.
or death if you don't make small changes. But sometimes, honestly, we don't know what those small changes are. We
Mm-hmm.
don't we don't talk about that at our dinner table, right? My aunt died at 51 years old of complications of diabetes. Lost her eyesight, lost her ability to pee. She was in a wheelchair for 10 to 12 years from complications of diabetes. And we see it in our community more than any other race. And why
Mm-hmm.
is that? Why
Mm-hmm.
don't we have dietitians of color? Why is that at our grocery stores? Like, really, who teaching us about this?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a death sentence, because what
Mm-hmm.
you put in your mouth is life or death.
Mm-hmm.
And without being perfect, I'm not saying you have to starve, you have to eat a salad. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
not about how thin you are. Black people, we big boned it, right? We thick. We
Mm-hmm.
are. And that's what we pride ourselves on. But we also have to pride ourselves on being healthy and breaking generational curses, going to exercise. I offer free exercise classes Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6:30, as a way, as an opportunity for people to have access to move. It's in the comfort of the home, right? I want to take excuses out of it, because we just don't know no better. We can't. I'm not saying every black person, but a lot can't afford the fitness boutiques and $100 a month gyms. That's not even on our radar because we're trying to survive and pay our bills and put food on our table and, have a little, go, just live.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's tough
You know,
out
you
here.
you bring up such interesting points, Zakiya. I think one of the key things is getting involved in the community and being out there and showing
Hmm.
people. And I feel a lot of it has got to do, part of it is access and part of it is knowledge, right?
Hmm.
And as you're going out
Hmm.
in the community, can you talk through, because we hear a lot of like, we need to do more grassroots efforts and more community, based efforts and all of that. But what are some of those challenges that you face as you go out in the community?
Hmm. I face, um, I'm learning you have to go to the people, right? You can't
Mm,
expect them to come to you. You have to go to where they are, go to their grocery store. And no, don't mean no. People just, they are stuck in their ways because they don't know any better. So
mm,
you have to show them me. I have to show them people in my own life that I can do it, you can do it. That is the hardest thing, is changing people mindsets. If you change a mind, you can change a life. But you
mm,
have to change their mindset for the long haul, because you never close the race of health. It's never when you hit this number on the scale, then what? Do you stop exercising? Do you stop eating well? What do you do when that number on that scale says or don't say what you want? You can't
mm,
give up either way. And that's that. I'm just the ambassador of health, right? That's it. I'm just the ambassador to cheer you on, that you can do this, but you need help, you need education, and you need access
mm,
to it, right? I
mm-hmm.
didn't know that there was a diabetes prevention program. And the people in my community, we do health fairs, and I didn't know that this was available. Yeah, neither
Mm,
did I. But
mm-hmm.
now I get to share it, and that's my challenge, right? That's my challenge, is sharing my program with everybody, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting the word out. Yeah, you have social media, but it's just a challenge. Awareness
Mm-hmm.
is a challenge.
What are things that other community members around you can do to help build up some of those things?
Well, I have had some great community support. I can
Mm-hmm.
honestly say that, they share my brochures with their networks, and I'm having a challenge getting into the rural communities, and because
Mm-hmm.
that's you just can't walk in there and be like, hey, I'm Zakiya from Grace Fitness. Once
Mm-hmm.
again, you're in a rural community in Iowa, and I'm a black face, right? So that comes with its
Mm-hmm.
own challenges and hesitancies on my end. But I have to still run the race of health, even in their community, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I'm getting into. But there's pockets of black people in rural communities too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just, I would say, just my community partners have been great and supporting Grace Fitness and helping me get the word out. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been great.
You mentioned diabetes a little bit ago. What are some of the most common health problems in the community? You mentioned the diabetes prevention program that
Mm-hmm.
you provide. What are some other resources, solutions that exist to address some of those other challenges as well?
So it's a lot of challenges. For instance, we have like a lot of mental health, right? This nutritional health, mental health go hand in hand sometimes, because
Mm,
if you not stable and happy and accountable mentally, having that mentality toward your food sometimes can't coexist. So there's a lot of, especially in Des Moines, there's a lot of up and coming black mental health therapists that you could
mm,
tout like, yay, we need that. We need to see. I can't say in Des Moines there's more black mental health therapists than any other profession, and I love to see
mm,
that. So, we have Polk County Health. We just have there are uh, groups of people that's in the community to get you what you need, but you have to
Mm,
know about it, right? That's the thing, and not be afraid to access the service.
mhm,
And don't look for a quick fix. That's another thing.
mm,
People, they want it instantaneously, and health is not like that. And it's a beautiful thing to learn yourself in the journey. It's a process. So if everything, it's just a process. So you got to be
mhm,
ready to do this thing for a lifetime, and not want to
mhm,
do it, lose weight to go on a trip, for lose 30 pounds to go on a trip. Lose the
mhm,
30 pounds, plan ahead, and just live life as you are. Be healthy as you are. Getting healthy would be my
mhm,
suggestion.
mhm,
Because fad diets don't work. Fad
mhm,
stuff don't work.
mhm,
Stuff don't work.
mhm. It's interesting you mentioned that because I mean, I kind of joke about this as to say that the secret to losing weight is that there is no secret. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally a lifestyle change. You have to keep
Yeah.
making those changes and keep modifying behaviors on a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis. And the unfortunate thing there is that you're never taught any of those skills growing up
Yeah.
in school, neighbors, family. You're never kind of taught that, especially in an
Mm-hmm.
environment that's not set up in that way. And so you kind of see a disease state, be it diabetes, just getting passed down generation to generation because you don't know better. But then you make the case to say, like, education needs to be provided in these
Mm-hmm.
communities, awareness needs to be brought. But there is, especially to the folks listening here today that are wanting to make a change in their lives, what would you tell them to encourage them to be more open and ready to make those lifestyle changes?
And strive for progress, not perfection. Every
Mm,
day you get up, do something for your health. Take a walk. Try something new, right? You might really like it. Like me, I did indoor cycle. I thought it would kill me, but I
mm,
loved it, right? But you have to, if you don't try anything new, you never know if there's something that you will like. And you have to find something that you can stick with. Small changes every day add up to big things. But it's,
mm.
once again, it's a process. But you are worth it. People, you are worth the sacrifice, and you are worth the wait, right? And there's
Yeah,
people to help.
I love that you mentioned that you are worth it. My mind immediately go to, so we do a lot of work with, women and moms, and again with the lifestyle changes for diabetes prevention management, all of that. And the biggest thing, and most of our work is here in Texas, and the biggest thing we hear is moms, especially when you talk about you are worth it, moms really
Mm-hmm.
taking that second place, right, and saying that, oh no, I have all this stuff to worry about with my kids or families, spouse, whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mom just really gets dropped down in that priority. To the moms listening out there, to even those who don't put themselves first, what would you say to them?
um, that they are doing a disservice to themselves and to their children and to their family, because you cannot, and I hate to even say this, but you cannot pour from an empty cup, right?
Mm,
You have to be filled up in order to have the. I'm a mom. I have two dogs and a kid, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine having a lot of children, and I just could not, because it is a lot, especially if you
mm,
want to keep a clean house, if you want to, but you cannot. That's why you have to take care of yourself first thing in the morning before the world gets to you, right? That's why
mm,
you exercise, you meditate, give yourself that half hour, or 45 minutes before the kids even get up. If you have to wake up early, that's what you have to do for you, so you could be a better you, because that's what it's about, being a better you. And the only way you be a better you is if your health. You are nothing without your health.
mm,
Nothing. You can't buy health. You can't
mm,
buy a new kidney. You can't buy being able to walk down the street if you have an emergency to be able to run and get away from an emergency, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
just you are nothing. And it sets the tone for your children. If they see
Yeah.
that mom is making herself a priority, they are going to make themselves a priority. It's
Mm-hmm.
non-negotiable, but is a learned behavior. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
wake up like I'm 45, and it just clicked about 5 years ago that I need to take care of myself, because that's why I got myself in the predicament at 305 pounds. I was too busy taking care of other people, and I did not take care of myself. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not who I want to be, trying to fill somebody else up and take care of them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not right. But we see it. We think women, we have to, and moms, we have to be all, do all. But it has to be a balance.
Mm-hmm.
But what helped me is, honestly, is getting up before my daughter gets up, getting up to do 30 minutes, 45. Now with everything being virtual, that's simple, but you have to be motivated to do it. Go to bed early, put the kids to bed. That's not selfish. You
Mm-hmm.
need it for your peace of mind, so you don't go, you know, crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
realistically, you got to just take a breath and be with you, cuz
Mm-hmm.
you all you have.
That is so true. Zakiya, I want to touch on the flip side of this. So, with all
Mm.
the work that you're doing out in the community, how does it help you in return?
Mm. Well, I it is, I cry a lot, and I
Mm-hmm.
cry good tears. I cry thankful tears. I cry like, wow, I didn't see this for, look, I get teary eyed just thinking about it now, because I am so grateful and I'm humbled that I was chosen to do this. I was not, this wasn't in my 20-year plan, my 5-year plan. This was not in any of my plans, but I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful because I really get to save people's lives, one
Mm-hmm.
life at a time, one class at a time, one health fair at a time. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
life's about, just giving back for what I didn't have. I didn't see me. I didn't see
Mm-hmm.
Grace Fitness, but
Yeah.
we need it. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
perfect, right? I'm a new nonprofit. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot I don't know, but I keep going. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I want to encourage people. You may not know, get some help, reach out. It's organizations like Grace Fitness that's here to help.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I absolutely love it. With Zakiya, we are toward the end of the episode. At this
Okay.
point, I would love for our listeners to know how they can connect with you and just learn more about your work.
Absolutely. So our website is www.gracefitness, D as in David, F as in S as in Sam, M as in Mary.org. And we are also on social media, Grace Fitness DSM. And if you want to email, the email is info@gracefitnessdsm.org. And we would love to chat with you and do a risk assessment and see where you
Mm-hmm.
are. Health,
Mm-hmm.
you have to know your numbers. If not,
Mm-hmm.
you have to know so you can make a change.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge
Absolutely.
is power. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
do know. Knowledge is power on every front.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Indeed. Thank you so much for sharing that, Zakiya. It's been such a pleasure
yeah,
talking to you. I absolutely love the passion and commitment that you have to this cause because we need more warriors. We need more champions like
yeah,
this who are out there saying, no, I'm not going to take the status quo
yeah,
as being okay anymore. And a change needs to happen and it needs to happen today. And if I'm not part of the problem, then I'm going to be part of the solution.
right.
And I love that attitude that you have. And it's been such a pleasure just talking to you and learning from you, Zakiya. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
And to our listeners who are listening, head over to our social media. Let us know how you like this episode. Find this podcast post and let us know what you think of this episode and things that you are doing in your day to day that'll help you get ready for change next. Again, head over to our social media on Facebook, on Instagram. Find us there and comment below this podcast post. So, with that, Zakiya, thank you so very much again.
Yeah, thank you, Shireen. Thank you.
In today's episode, we will be talking with Zakiya Jenkins, who owns and operates a fitness studio dedicated to helping people in her community be healthier. Zakiya will be discussing the importance of community coming together and creating a space for anyone to get healthy. Stay tuned. Zakiya